constantly. And I think that for Damwon Kia, I'm okay with them going for a top or mid lane Karma, especially with a Xin Zhao, which is the first time we see it being picked up by Damwon Kia, of course, used with great efficiency by DRX. They should have done it. They should have gone for it.
Karma Lulu Xin Zhao. Yeah.
Just pick hyper carry, hope they don't ban Fresh and Kench, and then you're good to go. Easy peasy.
Just hope they don't ban it with their two bans that they have.
I didn't say it was a great plan, Veldas. It's just a
suggestion. It is a plan.
It is a plan, and that's
true.
You know,
that's like a Papa Smithy throwback. He used to say that all the time. Well, that was a game. Shout out to him. We got Kalista once again. So that's 3 games in a row now for Teddy, as he will pick that up. I mean, you see the set first pick. I don't think it's a surprise for anyone. Damwon not really wanting to pick that up, of course. And so Teddy will get it here. And let's see what gets banned out. Do you think they ban away the Lulu? I'm not sure with the Kaisa pick now.
I don't think.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, because what could happen? But I think that's not very good. Because I think a Lulu Kaisa and Lulu or Karma Kaisa both are kind of subpar lanes, right? Yeah. So I think you're okay with them going for a Lulu and a Karma, but technically what they could do is they could go for like mid lane Karma, top lane Lulu with a Nautilus. Which honestly, I assume that's the call. I don't think you're too worried. And we also saw the synergy of the Xin Zhao with the Lulu, because it synergizes really well. He loves the extra speed that he gets. He loves the beefiness. It makes him into a full-blown tank that can also engage and like have basically a resonating strike from Lee Sin on like a 5-second cooldown later on in team fights. It's pretty ridiculous how strong that champion has gotten. We in the LCK haven't really gone all in on him yet. And I'm very interested to see how that's going to develop. As the Zoe, anyway, from Showmaker, no surprises there. It doesn't matter what the comp is, it doesn't matter what the situation is, and it's just insane.
Hey,
and there is the Gragas ban. Very happy to see that, because it would be T1 to just swap it out again.
3 games of Carrier Gragas would have been too much. I don't think any of us could have handled that greatness.
I mean, Damwon Kia definitely could. That's for sure.
Yeah. And so they identify it, they save us all from too much good. As we are thinking about the Leona here, and that will actually be locked in. So Keria going to show us this one, and the set will once again be sent to a different lane.
And this is a comp that is very reliant, in my opinion, on Cuz having a really solid performance, because if you fall behind with the Rumble, a lot of your potency with this composition is lost, because it's the combination of Akali for Showmaker, please do it. That would make me very happy, because it creates 2 completely different types of team comps. There we go. Where with Damwon Kia you get a really strong like skirmishy team comp, where I think that for 1-5v5 team fights are not necessarily your thing, but 1v1, 2v2s, Karma, providing a last second shield, you know, roaming from map to map, or roaming from lane to lane with the Kaisa ultimate is really, really strong. Rel is interesting here. Rel not in the best of plays, but with the Kaisa can still work very well. And this is kind of a messy type of composition here from Damwon Kia. Again, kind of going back to a composition that not necessarily super cohesive.
Stop trolling, Keria.
Keria's playing for hard every time, man. He just keeps doing it, and we've got to stop falling for it collectively, because it's not good for us. And this could, this would make sense, and this could go into 2 places. It could be a top lane or a mid lane, and I assume it will be top lane for Khan.
Or the jungle.
Actually, no, it's probably mid lane for Faker, huh?
Yeah, would imagine so.
Makes more sense into the Akali for sure.
Yeah.
Then again, playing set into Karma is not fun.
Looks like they forgot Swamp, so.
Well, I'm sure Keria can play.
Kalista mid, and okay, there we go. They remembered. All right. Well, here are our comps. Faker gonna show us some Jace. We were mentioning Korean Jaces before, especially our top laners, but now Faker doesn't want to be left out of the spotlight. He's going to give it a chance himself. This will be Showmaker that is playing the Karma. And, you know, when Akali was picked, Coach went over, was talking a lot with Khan, you know, and there was a big smile on his face. So I kind of had my suspicions, but I wanted to see what would come out here, and it will be Khan onto the Akali.
I don't... Oh, that's really interesting, because I feel like you actually opt into the worst matchup. Because in my opinion, I think the Akali has a better matchup, rather the Karma has a much better matchup into the set. Then again, playing Akali into a Jace creates like the Lucian situation that we saw in the first game, right? So it's somewhat understandable. However, especially after seeing MSI, I feel like giving away, or taking away rather, agency from Showmaker is a really risky move as Damwon Kia, and while the Karma can have a big impact, it's much more supportive. I don't know if that's going to be enough, because T1 looks like they're in form tonight.
T1 came to play, that is for sure.
I'd say so.
You know, I do agree with you. Putting Showmaker onto Karma is just... You know, it's like in the past when the T1 fans were up in arms about Faker playing all the supportive mid laners and stuff like that, and it's understandable, right? When you have one of your carry players, one of your ace players playing on a support champion that, while it does help the team if it's played at an incredibly high level, it's not a champion that's going to 1v5. It's not going to make the super flashy plays that can single-handedly carry your team, and that's what you want out of your carry players. So, Showmaker on to the Karma. Now, Khan he's a great player in his own right, don't get me wrong, but certainly Showmaker is their ace at this moment in time.
What a Karma can do reliably is kind of deal with the pressure that Cuz provides. As the Karma shield, especially in the solo lane where you get a lot more AP and a lot more power on your general kit, is just really nice into the equalizer. Both speeding people up and shielding them is literally all you want, right? You can run off the equalizer, and the damage that it does is also kind of negated, which in conjunction with Karma just being a champion that generally is kind of okay no matter what the stage she's in, has really brought her back into high levels of popularity. And it's something that, even though I agree with you, I'd rather see Showmaker on something else. The combination of the Xin Zhao also creates an incredibly strong 2v2 that, once snowballed, becomes super aggressive. So, as a whole, not the biggest fan, but I'm willing to be convinced, and the other prio that you will get, even against strong laners like the Jace, is going to feel good for Kenya regardless, because we all know the man loves having prio in his lanes.
Yeah, we're definitely on the same page there. As it'll be interesting to see how this goes down on the bottom side. We've seen Ghost, you know, he played the one game of Senna, and that was the last game of Senna that we are going to see in the series. Beryl hasn't lost on Rel, so he's got a 100% win rate that he's trying to keep alive here. Wants to make it 8-0. We'll see if he can do that. Karya also, of course, boasting his own insane win rates.
I feel like it's one of those things where there's so many of these. It feels like at some point,
wow, Faker! This is so aggressive, and it's mid Karma, right? I mean, he still has his flash. This is not necessarily the the champion you want to do this against. And Canyon gets spotted moving into the brush. That second harpoon is going to let him know, and he is going to have to flash to the blast plant. So a lot of aggressive trading here from T1. It is going to get the one flash from Canyon, at least.
The power as they go in.
Okay, looking for a little bit more. The cleanse will be used by Ghost. Beryl in a little bit of an awkward spot, but he's able to get out of there pretty much unscathed. Just hops away.
What a beautiful attractor pal from Beryl there. That single-handedly keeps them alive. And, you know, it's those moments where you're like, oh, okay, that's why the guy has 100% win rate. Okay, I respect that. Cuz making sure that not too much is lost here. Faker, however, gonna be at a pretty steep level deficit. Lane will, I think, be pushing towards him, although not sure what the minions there might actually be slow pushing away from him, depending on the focus. And already being at a deficit this early on in terms of experience, not the greatest, because once Showmaker is freed up, it makes it a lot harder. Also looking for a possible play on top lane.
This is reminding me of game number 1, except now it's Akali. He's looking for the kill, but he is not going to get it. Pretty easy first blood is taken here, and take a look at this lane state. Looks like Kana can kind of hold on to the minions and not push this one out. Of course, the teleport available for Khan, and he will immediately get up to the top lane as we have more action, and that's going to be Beryl taken out, and they're looking for a little bit more, although Keria will take a hefty amount of damage on the backside. The Rend is not enough, but he hops in, and he picks up the kill. Teddy with the mindset and ability to note the fact that he can pick up that second kill.
That was, I think that was a predictive spear there. Holy moly, T1, insane plays across the map, because that topside play in of itself, sure, you know, you're willing to look at that. It's not great for Khan, but it's not the end of the world. It's able to teleport back to the lane, which in of itself is a bit greedy, but getting 2v2 killed is a really big issue, because we haven't really seen it yet, but once Kalista gets going, she can be super oppressive as, yeah, Kana just baiting in Khan. Khan sticks around for a little bit too long, and Kali has a lot of safety, especially with Flash, but Rumble makes it a lot harder, and I think it's just a trap. Yeah, he walks up to the brush, and oh my god, look at his spear. Never mind, it was just the auto in the
carry.
Wow. Oh my god.
All right, well, yeah.
Not wrong.
Teddy's letting you know what he's doing here, as that ward is going to spot Canyon. Everything is going so well for T1 here.
Picking up Drake, what is happening, Valdez?
Cuz going to get the Drake. They're spotted on the ward. Canyon knows it. With the lane pushing in, he's going to have to move. So, man, this is just straight up ganks, straight up lane wins. This is T1 outplaying Damwon here in the early minutes of this game.
And this is starting to feel eerily reminiscent of the games we saw Damwon play at MSI. I think both Khan being somewhat overextended, right, getting punished appropriately, and then Ghost and Barrow getting taken down in the 2v2 is not a good early look. But let's not forget, Damwon Kia was in a similar position in the second game that T1 is in now. They won a couple of the early plays, but one bad engage, one nice attract repel, Magnet Storm combination from Barrel, Canyon diving in deep, can turn this around suddenly, and it's now up to T1 that show that they can actually play this out, because getting a lead on Teddy is good, but until we get a couple more kills under his belt, in of itself, this is not enough to say, okay guys, we can take it easy from here on out. It's gonna be smooth sailing. That's a big lead though.
Yeah. That the goal differential, especially down on the bottom side, is quite nice. Almost 800 gold here for Teddy, and he's got a wave pushing in, so that's going to balloon even more. 2 kills onto the Kalista. Teddy relatively quiet, although his Fate's calls have been really on point tonight. Sometimes the Kalista play is not all about 1v5ing and Ren setting, you know, all the champions on the enemy team. Definitely doing some good stuff here. And certainly Keria has been the highlight, the star of the show so far. So having him beside you certainly makes this even more fun if you are an AD carry player.
But it's interesting because what you see is also that with these three Kalista picks we see again and again is that Keria is also enabled by Teddy because he needs to have faith in Teddy to really hit that Fate's call at the exact. Another, I'm really happy you pointed out, like his Fate's calls have been so on point because every time that it feels like Keria may be gone in a little bit too deep, like immediately that ultimate comes through and then they wait, the re-engage is always gorgeous, and they just really open each other in the best way, and that's what you really would like to see. As Showmaker, you know, the Karma has done what Karma does. She's been fine in lane, heading towards the first item, and it would be a big win picking this up for Damwon Kia.
Okay, we got an engage going here. Keria level 6. But Beryl, of course, able to buffer and get out of dodge. As the rotation does come up here to the Rift Heralds.
Level lead for T1.
Yeah, their position is good too. Big shock blast on a Canyon, who has been relatively invisible in this game. He's been looking for ganks up on the top side, but hasn't really been able to do anything with those ganks. And some poke coming out now from Showmaker as well, but not really quite the same feel with that chase. And really just posturing over this objective at this point in time. I feel like Damwon have a pretty decent position. T1 in the lead here is pretty big.
Level 6 also now hit by Barrel and Ghost, and that's a big one because they didn't have that in the initial skirmish here. I think T1 might have to give this one up. You're still 2k gold ahead. Don't risk it, don't flip it, and they will back off.
I just feel like they had a big enough lead to forced the issue a bit more. It's almost like they felt awkward about their positioning and their engaged potential, and they just kind of let them have it.
I think on the initial play, yes, but once that Magnet Storm is available, it becomes a completely different equation, right? Because the combination of Magnet Storm plus the AoE damage from a Karma this early on in the game is still so impactful, so I think they could have pushed it, but I also think it would have been somewhat of a risk. And even with this, Herald being taken, T1 is still up considerably. Off of the back timers that DK has to take, they can still push in waves, push in plates. And with how it's looking right now, they're just going to give up 2 plates, which honestly, that's a surmountable gold lead, right? That's not really something that is worth losing the game over. And I think it would have been nice if T1 had positioning there, but not taking the risk.
Yeah, sometimes that's the right play, because in a different game, maybe they would have just kind of forced their way into that and got just absolutely demolished.
And it could have worked as well, right? Like, they have a really strong team fighting comp, but I understand the decision not to, as much as I would have understood if they tried to force there, considering their early game lead. Because if you win that, then the game is over.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of their game, right? They're the ones in the lead. They kind of get to say what they want to do, so.
True.
They make the decision not to go for it, and maybe they'll look to fight over these Drakes here. They got that first Cloud Drake, and with the Infernal about to spawn here, could look to make a move onto that. Khan just got his teleport, but take a look at this. Ghost is all alone. He has to flash away. Finally, Beryl is able to come on over, and Keria just gets the hell out of there. He was not wasting any time. He's like, nope, okay, we went a little bit too far. Let me flash the wall.
It's interesting that both of us were like, Hexflash being disabled, it might be big. Exactly the same got picked. Magnet Storm.
Ooh. Well, I mean, he was able to force the flash at least, but now there's going to be a really sick counter engage. That equalizer is huge. Gets so much damage out of that backline and zones everybody away. Beryl tries to make the play, only gets the flash, and T1 are going to get this Infernal Drake basically for free on the back of that. And that is just another huge step forward for this T1 roster. And take a look at this, Ghost left all alone. They found him here again. And this should just be the kill handed over to Teddy once again. This bottom lane is so incredibly scary on the side of T1.
And T1's restraint in the previous fight pays off big time here. And coming into this game, we were talking Cuz. He can't fall behind, he's the sole source of AP. Can he do enough on the Rumble? And I go back to the statement I said at the beginning of the evening. I feel like Cuz is one of the best Rumble jungles that we have in Korea, because as you pointed out, that equalizer, all it did and all it needed to do was just cut off Beryl from the rest of his team. There's absolutely nothing they can do, and I understand the will to try and go for initiation. Even if that hits, it doesn't feel like they're really in a good place. And yeah, Damwon Kia, they see that, they just can't do anything. It's just absolutely impossible for them to move up. Completely zoned out. Khan is standing on the ward. Faker just goes in to kind of try and kite it out. And I don't know why Ghost was still that close.
Yeah, Teddy's calling for it.
No carry. No. I was like, carry.
This time he should have been like, carry on.
Oh. And now we're getting to the point where this gold lead starting to balloon. 3 kills on the Kalista. Team fights are going to be basically impossible because, like last game, and possibly even more pronounced for Damwon Kia, because this time their opponents have a lot more range in their comp, is that they are short range. They are a team that is really relying on finding key engages, getting on top of their opponents and then blowing them up, right, within one rotation. An elongated fight later in the game when Akali has some items might be a possibility, but right now they're really not. Canyon also going for the Essence Reaver.
Yeah.
Possibly following it up with what I assume will be a Frostfire next. Try and go for some survivability, and Strong not coming off. They go in again.
This is happening again. I mean, Beryl, again, no flash. He's trying to get over the top, and the Solar Flare comes in, and this is just the easiest kill you've ever seen. If Keria lands one ability, somebody's going to die. They're that far ahead. Ghost is basically not a champion in this game right now. They are pushing up. They're trying to farm, but they just pushed up too far again once again. And that's going to be just another kill in the pockets of Teddy. I mean, this guy's 4-0. He's incredibly farmed now.
And the worst of it is, if Damwon Kia, even if you somehow kill Teddy, which with his heal up, with a Leona that's bodyguarding him, is going to be hard in of itself. I just don't know what you can do. And again, it's these Fate's calls, right? It's the consistent pressure that they output, and Beryl and Ghost try to get the reset on the lane. And even someone as quote-unquote tanky as Beryl just can't do anything.
Yeah, I was laughing at Ghost's damage on his Q. I think he did about 50 to the Leona. Yeah, he's in a pretty good spot now. So Ghost, funnily enough, he's actually the same level as Teddy, but yeah, you're just dead again. This is not the greatest look for Ghost, and T1 are just mauling him. I mean, this is not even fair. He's getting isolated. He's out of position over and over, and they're taking advantage of it every single time. This is the proactiveness you really want to see out of T1.
And this is a necessary lesson for Damwon, because I already hinted towards similar to MSI, right? We see Showmaker not able to have an impact on the Karma here. And again, go back. When is Showmaker the best? When you put him on a champion with agency, he's just not able to do that, and he might just die here.
Well, ignore the Solar Flare, because what really matters is that Showmaker is going to go down here. He is Karma.
Is he?
Wow, okay, yeah. I should have known. They made Karma too good. As the damage is here in spades, though, for the side of T1. Trying to get that ultimate out of Canyon. He will eventually use it as in comes the knock-up, and Kana, okay, Khan trying to make something happen. He picks up 2 kills and gets the shutdown onto Teddy. And now it's 4v3.
Might have spoken too soon there, Voltus. Damwon is still in this game, and they show it with a beautiful double kill. That is so much gold getting picked up by Khan here, and the possibility of winning that next soul point fight. Now all of a sudden on the board for Damwon, who really alleviate a lot of that gold lead. And it starts off with us saying, oh, Showmaker, you know, he can't really do enough, the poor guy. And before showing us that even on Karma, this man always has an impact. He baits them out for so long, sidesteps that Haymaker, gets to the rest of his team, but then it's still a juicy enough target that he's kind of baiting him to sticking around. And I think here as T1, this is where you say this gotta be bait, right? We can't do this. And then it's Beryl with the engage, and then Khan just going in here and picking
Assassin.
up. Beautiful.
I mean, that's a killer instinct if I've ever seen one, and it's not Kaisa. There you go, yeah. I mean, that was insane. I mean, he saw blood in the water and he immediately pounced. That's what you want. And, you know, we were waiting for someone with any kind of ability to do anything, to do something. And finally, we got it out of Khan. Now that the team fights are starting, Khan is getting pretty strong on this Akali. See what he can do, because he is one of the only hopes left for Damwon. T1 still heavily in control of this game. That's a nice equalizer. And, okay, Khan trying to make the play work and gets a lot of damage. Now he goes back in, and that is a massive engage. And follow-up from Beryl and Khan. And Damwon have found a way to make it back in this game. They pick up the dragon. They're evening up the gold. Faker will be able to flash away, so it's not an ace, but they can't keep getting away with this. Damwon find another team fight win.
Everything comes together for Damwon there. It's Showmaker with the immediate shield to get everyone off of that equalizer because it just doesn't do enough. The health bar so low. People are getting bounced from left to right over the wall. And then again, Khan goes in. Sure, he gives up his life, but the amount of damage that he does before he goes down is absolutely insane. And it feels like after that previous play went wrong, Damwon just seemed kind of scared. And they can't crucially kill Khan there. And then once he goes back in with the shuriken, it is just beautiful with barrels crash down there. And now all of a sudden,
let's watch it.
Game's wide open.
It's the second R away. He lands the shuriken. Knows he has barrel to front line. And that's all it really took. I mean, there were some low health bars on the side of T1, but you just weren't really expecting the Akali to come back in this much of a manner. But picking up the 2 shutdowns, going back and buying, and then re-entering the fight with that much more gold, I feel like really made a huge impact. And even though Beryl and Ghost have been just getting outclassed and outplayed in the bottom lane, Beryl is like, no, the game's not over. I'm still here to engage. I'm still here. I'm still a rel. And he's done some incredible stuff now to try to come back in this game.
And the interesting thing in this game is that it's not that it's now suddenly Damwon Kia favored, because I still feel like T1's team fighting comp can get a lot done if they can get in range and not get shut down. But with Akali fed, the extra survivability from Showmaker, I assume going to be a bigger and bigger problem to try and deal with. Damwon is spiking incredibly hard right now, right? And I think later on T1 might get the defensive itemization to kind of alleviate that threat. I don't think Akali skills in team fights necessarily extremely well into the late game. But as T1, this one fell in the bag, and that's the thing I'm more worried about, is how does this feel? Because as T1, you gotta imagine you feel like you're on top of the world, you're completely in control of the game. Sure, you know, that mid lane scuffle doesn't go great, but then this dragon fight, if you take that fight, the game is over. You can't let those doubts creep in, because Damwon Kia are making it very clear, it is now a gold lead. Yes, it's a slight one, but getting back from a 3k gold deficit, and it's that man in the top lane.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what's happening here, because as far as I was told, Khan can only play Sion. And like, I don't really get what's happening here, if I'm being completely honest about this.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we got the wrong script. I'm not sure, Chronicler, because I was told the same thing. I don't remember this guy playing any other champion in spring, so I don't know. Maybe someone else is in the booth. No, it's Khan. I mean, he's insane. And I loved their response, by the way, to the equalizer. Like, when you're playing against champions like Rumble and Jace, who love to just poke you and do insane damage from afar, they just, like, immediately Shurelya's and shield their way directly in your face. And they're like, okay, yeah, now what are you going to do? Like, Rumble does have some good upfront damage as well in melee range, but you take away a lot of that damage, a lot of that burst is negated, and you've got insane backline access. You can do some crazy stuff if you immediately just shut down the guy who's got insane, you know, bags of gold that he's got stored in the bank. I'm talking about Teddy here.
Very good carrier, or Khan rather. Don't get picked off in the side lane, please respect, and he's doing that, which is great, because getting picked off now is would be incredibly upsetting for Damwon Kia, because it could take away all their hard-earned momentum. Now, I think Ghost isn't really going to be a factor at any point in this game, unless he like picks up, you know, quarter kill, which is a very Ghost thing to do, to like just kind of beat it and you get the penta.
Everybody's like, wow, Ghost must have had a great game.
Yeah.
Well,
and this is not to dig on Ghost, right? We saw a Senna performance earlier in the night, but like it is a situation that we see happen often with Damwon Kia. But the key thing is Damwon Kia is spiking, as mentioned previously, incredibly hard right now. We have Khan on 2 items, Riftmaker, as well as the Morellos, that's going to cut through a lot of sustain that's available for T1. Then we have Canyon, who's almost finished his second item, Showmaker, who's sitting on flowing water, as well as the Shurelya's. And as you pointed out, like right now, as T1, you can still win team fights, but you need to lock down on top of an equalizer. You can't just throw down the equalizer like a zoning tool, like we've seen before. You need to use your sets and your Leona to actually get them, lock them in place, because otherwise, as you can see here, just not doing a whole lot.
Yeah, it feels like so much has happened in this game, yet only the second Rift Herald was just dropped.
Yeah.
I thought we were way past that one, but actually we're only 22 minutes in. To able to get a really hefty chunk done to even the second tier turret in the mid lane, as, yeah, I mean, Faker was just doing his thing, split pushing. Jace can do that very effectively, especially against nobody in the lane, so actually getting some value in the top side, at least in terms of turret number. But having a really good read on where he is does Showmaker. He's able to deny that back, as again, the second Ocean now. These are really stacking up for the side of Damwon, as they are absolutely back in this game.
And when I was talking about, personally, I feel like the T1 comp skill is a little bit better, although the execution will always be hard just by the virtue of you being relatively short range and playing into the Karma, the Akali. I do think that if you get an Ocean Soul on the Karma team, that's real bad.
The comps don't matter anymore.
Yeah, that's not really, you don't really come back from that one. And that's something that T1 needs to avoid at all costs. Now, obviously, that's not the state of the game at the moment yet. I still think that they can win team fights, but what's most worrying here, if you're a T1 fan, is that T1 clearly is now, they're playing scared, you know, like, they're like, can we actually engage here? Are we not going to run into another fight where the longevity of the comp is just kind of run us over? And I would love to see them invest in a Serpent's Fang, right? Faker needs to pick that up ASAP. Maybe that's the point where you're like, okay, we can start playing the game again. Maybe get a Morelos, get an Executioner. So you need some way to cut through this healing that Damwon is doing, because sustaining the fights is simply insane. Xin Zhao has sustain. Obviously, Akali with Conqueror and Riftmaker has a lot. You have the Karma shields with Staff Flowing Water. And I don't think you can burst someone down. I think you're going to have to win in a longer fight where Teddy gets a lot of spears. Easier said than done, though, Valdez.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. And, you know, I do like the idea of the Serpent's Fang against all these shields. But, you know, he's got to build his core first. He might be a bit far away from that as well, which might be a problem. You know, there's only so much you can give over to DK. They've already got the 2 Oceans. 3 minutes away from the 3rd one. And I don't think he's going to have that item by then, so...
No, if you want to play for that, you'd give up the next round, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're never ever getting to that point. I don't know if that's actually the call you want to make, because obviously Salt Point comes with its own issues. But as T1, I imagine right now you're going through your head, like, what can we do to actually shut down this skirmishing come from Damwon Kia? They have 2 Ocean Souls, or 2 Ocean Drakes rather. They've been able to get into our backline every single time. Our Rumble is losing efficiency very fast, so I think that it's good that Cuz is building quickly towards that Void Staff, which hopefully is going to give him a bit more relevancy, because right now Showmaker is basically single-handedly making that pick irrelevant, and that's when you get into the issue of T1. When it comes to AP damage, it really is just a Rumble.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
Doesn't feel like enough. And again, as I mentioned before, a lot of that damage is in the Equalizer. You know, unless people are stacking right in front of him or something like that. So certainly a lot of damage can be denied, and the amount of sustainability and tankiness you have just effectively with the comp of Damwon Kia is slowly but surely becoming a problem for T1. We'll see how it goes. Neither team is really making any big moves here with no dragons on the map just yet. There is a Baron, but doesn't look like DK wants to flip over a Baron or anything like that. Interesting position right now for Canyon. It feels like he's found a little path into the enemy jungle where he has been unseen for the most part. But nothing really amounting of it. Faker smartly just going to join up with his team and not run into the forest with no vision.
So warded, can't teleport.
Uh-oh, Carrion. Oh, he's caught a bit here. That's a lot of... Okay. Fate's Call is going to have to be used. As well as the Solar Flare that actually did come out from Carrion. So that's a couple of big ultimates that are denied once again on the side of T1, and just barreling down the mid lane. And where did the chase go? He just got assassinated by Khan, and Ghost just going underneath this turret, not leaving anyone to live here. Carrion desperately trying to do anything in this one to peel, but he will not be able to, and with no minion wave, they'll just run at the Baron.
And look at the sustain from Damwon Kia, incredible. How full they really are. We talked about Showmaker and carry. The man has a 14 stack Zhonyas right now. He's getting
the Magi's, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Magi's. Unbelievable engage there, and I didn't expect them to go for the dive.
They just run at them.
Run at them, and it's Canyon who, together with Barrel, gets so much damage, gets Teddy out of the fight, then Khan can easily blow up that Jace together with Ghost, and then the damage is gone. There's nothing you can do, especially against that Karma. If she's not there, then maybe... We were waiting for that. And you gotta imagine for Damwon Kia, this has gotta be such an incredible weight falling off their shoulders, right? Because it was kind of looking like the games that they lost. Like, it was so similar, bot lane getting killed again and dying in the 2v2, Khan getting caught. But this is the mental fortitude that we'd like to see from our current #1 LCK team, and now T1 has to show that if Damwon Kia can do it, they can do it again. This game is still flippable, but I don't know if they have the items right now. Honestly, I don't think they do. Still no healing reduction whatsoever available, and without that, into 3 Ocean Drakes. You know, T1 might be scaling into the next game, unfortunately for them.
It looks like it. And, man, after the lead they got, it just looked like there was no way Damwon were going to come back in this one, but...
It's happened 2 times in the series.
Yeah. somehow, some way. And, yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, T1 had a really awesome early game as well. Like, everything was going so well. And Carrie and Teddy were just absolutely dominating the bottom side. But we've seen this happen before, too, where it's like you can get ahead, but if your carries are not enabled to do the damage while they're fed, it doesn't really matter how fed they are if they just get blown up immediately. Or if they don't have a front line, you know? And time after time, we've seen in, I guess, 3 fights in a row now, it's just Khan and the boys running straight in. Pop your Shirelias, pop your shield. We're going straight for the throat. They take out Teddy. Faker the same. You know, he's not tanky on the Jace either.
Coast is doing the thing again where he's now at a 550 gold bounty and 3 kills.
Yeah.
Like clockwork.
Yeah.
But honestly, to me, the real hero is, I don't know if it's Khan or Showmaker. It's got to be either of them, because Showmaker...
I'd take Khan.
Well, yeah.
Take the Khan.
I'd agree, but Showmaker is just like, it's the supportive way of hard carrying his team, right? But I guess you're right. Zakali just too threatening, and now giving up inhibs is a good way to lose all control that you have over this game, T1.
Yeah. At this point, I don't think they have a say. They're desperately trying to clear waves, but against the Baron, there's just nothing they can do. As even the push in the middle lane, nicely timed on this one as well, gonna get a nice amount of damage done to that mid-tier turret. They can easily just rotate on over if they want to. 2 seconds on the Baron buff, but you've got 1 more wave pushing in. Doesn't look like they're gonna push the issue. Damwon sufficiently ahead at this point in time, you would have to imagine. You can just back away, use that extra gold that you got from your Baron push, your Baron power play, and just wait for that Ocean Soul in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, once that one's picked up, you really got to try hard to lose the game. That's not something that should ever happen. Oh, what a series here, Valdez. Like, the first game, sure, Damwon Kia, I think, take it rather convincingly, although there were some moments that were nice from T1. As a whole, it wasn't really enough. The macro didn't really smoke the part, but then game 2 and 3 basically mirrored. One team gets a big lead, looks like they're firmly in control, and then it gets flipped on his head. And I know this is premature, but like when we get best of 3s like this, I'm like, can we just, you know, make an extended best of 5 out of this? Like, I would really appreciate
for
that.
The boys.
Yeah, for the boys, you know, for the fans, just
for the lads.
Just play 2 more games.
Just play a couple games more, guys. Don't worry about it.
Don't think too much about it, you know?
Yeah.
Don't
just load up the next one. Yeah, I mean, we're going to get more like this, especially with T1 kind of leveling up. I mean, you know, Damwon is an insane team, and this comeback is pretty surreal. I don't feel like T1 did anything obscenely incorrect, you know, to fall this far behind. I feel like Damwon just really kind of took it into their own hands and started playing to another level to get this game to this point.
There we go. We see the orb, we see the Serpent's Fang. I think it's too late, though. I don't think it really matters anymore at this point, but if you mount a comeback as T1, it's going to have to come off of the back of that healer reduction coming in big here, because it's looking pretty doomed, Valdez, here for T1, and you got to give hats off to Damwon Kia. They're taking full control of this jungle. Look at that vision, littering up the bot side. No way for T1 to walk in. And it feels like you can do nothing but giving up the ocean, but giving up the ocean is basically giving up the game. There's no good choices here for T1.
Yeah, I think if you're T1, probably just give the ocean and try to hope that DK make a mistake. Just to be entirely honest, you know, because if you run through the blind forest here where you have no vision into a very set up, very far ahead Damwon, that's a loss anyway, right? They're just going to run down and win. So wait until they're not quite as set up, maybe around a Baron or something, even with the Ocean Drake or Soul. Because in this position, you're not doing anything. This is going to be the Ocean Soul given over to Damwon Kia. Some nice flank wards, or at least the one is put up by Keria.
Here the question marks here for, are they flank wards? Is this a good idea? Like, is this gonna work?
Yeah, I mean, if you get a set back there and he brings in Khan, maybe. Honestly, he did that last time though around the dragon, and he just shrouded.
Honestly, bring in Showmaker.
Maybe, yeah, maybe that's better.
But Baron is gone.
Yeah, they don't really have the time to get over there anyway. Equalizer going to be thrown for fun, and Khan is going hunting.
looking for it.
We're going.
Are they going to find him?
He finds Keria, but that's the stun coming in, the Solar Flare. He doesn't seem to care. And yeah, he just walks away from this one. That's a nice amount of healing that he gets on the backside alongside of the shields. And he's about to be full health. Oh yeah, that's the Baron taken here from Damwon. And it just feels helpless for T1. It's like Damwon just decided to flip a switch. And they say, no, you know, it's been a fun series, very back and forth. We'll take it from here.
Yeah, you know, it's the epitome of, hey, but we're ahead. Can we win this game? Like, it would be really nice of you. No, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's okay. Have a nice day. Goodbye. That's kind of how it's feeling here with Damwon, when they turn it on. They still look good. Obviously, still a lot of improved points, or improvements rather, that are gonna have to be found by Damwon. You can't afford to give best teams in the world these kind of openings, right? You can't get away continuously. We're getting double put in the bot lane, but their team fighting remains simply world class, and it's going to be a miracle from T1 to try and get back from this one.
Yeah, it absolutely will. And you can see now with the Baron push, just making their way on in. Khan is, you can tell, he's really confident by himself there in the mid lane. Knows he is totally protected. It's taken them a little while to take down this mid turret, actually, but they will finally knock down that objective and also take down the inhibitor. Feels like only a matter of time before they do take down the Nexus. We'll probably be hearing from Khan, but we'll have to wait and see. So we're just pushing on in. Khan able to get down to the bottom side. Here, Ghost just zoning in the top side of the map, and here's the engage getting onto the backside. That's a really nice equalizer, actually. Beryl is all alone in the backside. Can they just do this? Can they just smack him with their wallets? Khan is dead, and down goes Beryl as well. Khan trades his life for it, but now 4v3 in favor of T1. DK kind of playing a little bit here with their food. They've got full health bars, and they still have Ocean Soul with the Karma. So maybe it doesn't matter, as Ghost is going to move forward and try to get the kill on a Teddy, but now Canyon's going to go down, and maybe Damwon have played a little bit too much, or maybe they have not, as they will just be able to shred everybody, and the typical Ghost effect comes into effect here at the end of the game. He picks off an insane amount of kills after everything is said and done, after everything is set in stone, and down will go the Nexus and set this game in stone in favor of Damwon, as they will take down T1.